To help you bring your consciousness back to the room. And when you're ready, open your eyes. I want to end today's meditation with the remainder of today's reading from Ernest Holmes. Today I feel that I merge with the infinite. While there seems to be a beginning and an end to each particular experience, there is neither beginning nor end to myself. My real spirit is omnipresent in God, secure in good, and perfect in divine being. Now I just want to thank you for being here today, joining us in meditation to help prepare the space for our Sunday service. And our Sunday service will begin at 10:15. Hope to see you then. Bye-bye.
Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Whether you have joined us here at 4 Points by Sheridan, or you have invited us into your homes through the power of live streaming, we are very glad that we are all together today celebrating life and each other. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Dusty Rippelmeyer, and I have the honor and the privilege of being this community's spiritual director. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that honors all paths and promotes global transformation through personal transformation. We're a spiritual community that can support you as you strive for a personal relationship with God. A spiritual community where you are respected and accepted just for who you are. A spiritual community that offers love and support to grow into your highest and best self. No matter where you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. We are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living, which is a global community of over 450 spiritual centers, teaching chapters, and special focus ministries in 30 countries worldwide. Centers for Spiritual Living is a practical and positive philosophy, faith, and way of life, and our vision is a world that works for all. There is no flower dedication today, although just look at this beautiful poinsettia. I have one announcement from me. We do have some other announcements, of course, but this is a heads-up announcement regarding the entire month of January. From this moment on, January 2025 will be known as Bring a Friend, Share the Joy Month. The invitation is for each of us to invite at least one friend to at least one Sunday service. The more friends on many Sundays, the better. Each Sunday we will hold a raffle for the guests and a raffle for the hosts and have other giveaways. After every service, we will also be holding a special event. For example, lunch bunch on the first Sunday, rap with the Rev on the second Sunday, bingo with John Carnes on the third Sunday, and a prayer workshop on the fourth. So mark your calendars, reach out to some friends, and bring a friend and share the joy during the entire month of January. I would like to thank Diane Carnes for her beautiful meditation that enlarged the container that our service will unfold within. And now, please welcome Carol Cross for our announcements.
Hello, everybody. Great to see you. Okay, so this month, our Wednesday evening services are called, well, all year it's been called Beyond Sunday, but this month we are doing Celebrating the Light. So we've been spending time talking about all the light is present during the many amazing and sacred holidays at this time. So last Wednesday, Jamila Kelly did a great discussion of Kwanzaa. Coming up next Wednesday, as Miss Piggy would say, moi will be leading a discussion on the winter solstice, which I think is a highly underappreciated holiday. And then next week, the ever vivacious Eileen Proctor will be handling Hanukkah. So those are all going to be fun events. You don't want to miss them. However, there will be no Wednesday night services on either Christmas Day or New Year's Day. And I also have a workshop this afternoon called Crystalline Clarity, a winter spiritual journaling workshop. So it's going to be held here from 12 to 3. The suggested cost is $30. Winter is a time of introspection and reflection. Make the most of this season's unique energy by exploring journaling techniques. So if it was too cold to get up too early this morning, you still have time to get in your car and meet us over here by noon to participate in that workshop. Today is the last day to participate with TCSL in the Marines Toy for Tot campaign in cooperation with the Morrisville Fire Department. Diane Carnes will be collecting all of our toys and transporting them to the fire department. And if you have any questions, contact Diane Carnes at dtg999@gmail.com. And before you know it, it's going to be Christmas Eve. And And we have a wonderful light and music-filled service prepared for that night, Tuesday night, September 25th. 24th. December 24th. Christmas Eve. Same old Christmas Eve as ever. The evening is called Inspired to Shine. Karen Daly and Cindy Johnson will inspire us with their music. There will be a potluck reception with hors d'oeuvres and desserts from 5 to 6. So please bring a dish or a dessert to share. And then the service begins at 6 o'clock. The entire evening will be here at the Four Points at Sheraton at 1300 Claren Court in Morrisville. And then a week later, we have our special New Year's Eve service, which is an evening of inspirational message, meditation, music, and ritual. We join in community to say goodbye to 2024 and welcome in 2025 in a very powerful way. The service begins at 6 o'clock and will be held here at Four Points at Sheraton. And then the next day, we have our New Year's Day tradition. We'll be facilitating our annual Visioning and Vision Board workshop. Be prepared to download your highest and best for the new year. Start now by gathering up any magazines you may have lying around to use in the process. We will supply all the other necessary materials. But please RSVP to info@trianglecsl.org so we know how many people are attending and how much stuff we need to gather. This event will also be held at the 4 Points by Sheraton. We will begin the visioning at 12 o'clock and follow that with the creation of the vision boards from 1 to 3. So many wonderful opportunities for us to be together in community, for which I'm very grateful. So I now want to welcome back to the podium my dear friend, Diane Carnes.
Thank you, Carol. As we saw in that wonderful little video earlier, the theme for the year 2024 is a grand rising. Our theme for the month of December is sticking the landing. And Reverend Dusty's message is Hearts Ablaze. I am now going to read this community's purpose statement, and this is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives into being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of conditional love, simply, we are here for God. And now we are going to do our centering. So if you would, please turn within. Open your hearts, open your mind, and allow the sounds of the crystal bowls to just wash over you.
comfortable to open your eyes, please do so. And I'd like to invite Jim and Marianne to come forward to assist me with the blessing of all faiths. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths as represented by this ceremony. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Science of mind and spirit is the path of the divine principle of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, Marianne and Jim. And now I invite you to close your outer eyes as I speak a blessing on our service this morning. I recognize the one infinite power, the one infinite love, the one infinite life that is in, as, and through each of us here today. And I know that that infinite light is the true spark of love and joy that is the center of this community. And so I speak a blessing on the community and the service this morning. And I speak a blessing on Reverend Dusty as she brings forth the wisdom and the truth of spirit, and that I know that she is blessed by her work with us and for us today. I speak a blessing on Cindy Johnson as she shares her wonderful gifts and talents of the musical variety that lift us up in our spirit. And I speak a blessing on Heather Abbott as she does an amazing, wonderful job of harnessing those electrical forces that allow us to bring this service to you today. And I speak a blessing on the congregation, knowing that this embrace of spirit, of the divine, of love, carries forward with us in our everyday lives, and so it is. The reading today is from Evita O'Shell. In her article called Awakening to Heart-Centered Living, Evita O'Shell says, "The foundation of heart-centered living is love, pure and simple. Therefore, when we embrace or step into heart-centered living, we are allowing love to be the guiding force for all that we think, say, and do. We are moving out of fear-based paradigms and moving into love-based paradigms. How this plays out in everyday life on a practical level is huge and has massive implications for all life on this planet. Our hearts are starved, and we are finally coming back to ourselves, healing ourselves, and healing our planet. And so it is." And now, without further ado, the ever wonderful, beautiful, and talented Cindy Johnson.
Thank you, Lauren.
bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. When all your hopes are sinking, let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart would understand. But love and only love can join the tribes of man. I would give my heart's desires that you might see the first step to realize it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Oh, don't you think it's time? We stand together, it's our finest hour. We can do anything, anything, if we keep believing in the power of love. For love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Oh, don't you think it's time? Oh, don't you think it's time? Oh, it's time.
Absolutely beautiful, Cindy. And as usual, the right and perfect song. Thank you so very much. As Diane said earlier, the theme for the month of December is sticking the landing. And last Sunday, I encouraged everyone to think about a gymnast as you contemplate this theme. That at the end of a gymnastics performance, after all of the twirls and the spins and the twists and the somersaults, that the gymnast must land upright on their feet. Like the gymnasts at the end of this year, having explored all of the ups and downs and ins and outs and conversations and beliefs about the theme of the year, a grand rising, the intention is for us to land on our feet, totally grounded in spiritual principles. Now, last Sunday, in a message entitled Standing on Solid Air, we began a conversation about the core beliefs of our Science of Mind teaching as the solid air, or the thoughts and beliefs upon which we stand. These included some of the I believe statements that Ernest Holmes brought forward in the very first Science of Mind magazine in 1927. Now, we continue that conversation today with a message entitled Hearts Ablaze. I love that image, Hearts Ablaze. And as I sat with this talk title, the first thing that came to me was the word heart, a symbol used around the world to imply or to represent love, or the feeling of love, hence Cindy's song. Love is a feeling or an energy that includes being in a state of acceptance, compassion, forgiveness, healing, intimacy, giving, responsibility, respect, knowing and being known, humility, self-acceptance, kindness, peace, non-judgment, integrity, caring about the happiness of another without much of a thought for what you are going to get out of it, and the confidence, faith, and courage to really be able to risk the unknown. That's a lot, right? This word love encompasses quite a lot of things. It's a participatory emotion. It is actually a choice that we can make, a state of being from which we live our lives. Ernest Holmes says, "The true meaning of love is a wonderful thing, for it is the desire of the soul to express itself in terms of creation. Creation is brought about only through the self-givingness of the lover to the object of its love. This is why when we love people, we will go to the limit to help or to serve them. Nothing is too great. No sacrifice is enough." Now, the second idea that came to me was also around this word heart as the central or innermost part of anything, as in the heart of the matter. When I contemplate the talk title, Hearts Ablaze, from that context, then I am immediately and acutely aware of who and what I am at my very core. That I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that at the central or innermost part of me is the divine. And that this power and presence resides with me at the center of my being. I know that this is not only my truth, but absolutely the truth of each and every person here today, each and every person out there, whether you're listening in this moment or you're listening at some later point in time, that each of us is a hologram of the divine, and within us, seeking to be expressed, is every single one of those amazing God qualities, without exception. I know that the love and the goodness and the kindness of the divine is who we are. What I also know is that we were given free will. We can express those things or not express those things. We can allow the love and the goodness and the kindness that are seeking to be expressed through us and as us, or we can choose to continually fall back into old patterns or old ways of being that really have nothing to do with the truth, or ways of being that we have bought into that aren't really true about us or about the world, or ways of being in which we fall back into old patterns and old beliefs that no longer serve us. Either or, it's our choice. Ernest Holmes says, "We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all." The eternal givingness. Not just when we arrived on the planet, but eternally, always, always present, and always available, always giving to each of us alike. It's God's nature to give, and it does so without condition, without hesitation, without any reservation. It is written that God is love, and love is God. Mystics of all times and of all faiths traditions have really said that the essential essence of God is love. So, it can only be true that if God is love and we were created in the image and likeness of that power and presence, then the innermost aspect of each and every single one of us must be love. It's what we are at our very core. We are all spiritual beings really having a human incarnation, divine, unique, individualized expression of God, imbued with that love aspect, with the very essence of love itself. We arrived on the planet with this essence within us. We don't have to do anything in order to receive that love. We don't have to be anything to receive that love. It has already been given to each and every single one of us and is eternally given each and every single day. Marianne Williamson says, love is what we were born with. Fear is what we have learned here. The spiritual journey is the relinquishment or the unlearning of fear and the acceptance of love back into our hearts. Many people dampen down the flames of their hearts due to either conditioning, like here, play it safe, or don't risk it all, don't be too much, be careful of putting yourself out there, or perhaps because of unhealed grief and not wanting to open up after being hurt. It's important, really, to face our inner shadows, to bring the light of love into our hearts and our lives. We are here, we signed up to be here in order to live our lives fully. Not to dampen down that flame, but to really live our lives fully. As Helen Keller said, life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. A daring adventure. In the book Illusions, Richard Bach describes a group of creatures who live clinging tightly and desperately to rocks in a stream. Now, one finally decides to go, and then a few others decide to join that first one. And at first they're battered about and bumped along all of the rocks on the bottom of the stream. But soon they discover how to flow with the stream, how to flow with it. And as we learn to flow with the river of life, we can discover the freedom and the joy that is within that, within our ability to really flow with life. And we begin to do that by being willing to open our hearts up again, to really let go of clinging to all of the hurts and all of the wounds that we have experienced over time, over this journey. And each one of us, I'm sure, has experienced that, some hurts or some wounds. When we can stop defining ourselves by our woundedness and begin to really define ourselves by our aliveness and by our passion, we will experience life in a very different way, in a very magnificent and wonderful way. The invitation is to do whatever is necessary to really be able to shine the light of truth upon any of the barriers that we may have, either consciously or unconsciously, and to heal our emotional wounds so that we can open up our hearts again and be able to receive and give love freely. The invitation is to live from the heart of who we are, from our divinity, from the inside out, not based on anything outside of ourselves. When we are able to live from the core of who we are, without doubt, without reservation, we will spread loving kindness everywhere we are and be able to really participate in the changing of the world. Be able to participate in the creation of a world that works for all. When we live from that central, innermost part of who we are, from our divinity. Ernest Holmes said, "Love is the central flame of the universe, nay, the very fire itself. Love is self-givingness through creation, the imparting of the divine through the human, the imparting of the divine through the human, through and as us." But God can only do for us what God can do through us. We have to be willing. We have to choose to participate. Choose life. Choose love. This brings me to the third idea that came to me, and this has to do with the word ablaze. Ablaze. The word ablaze means on fire, in flames, shining intensely, burning fiercely. Its synonyms include dazzling, excited, stimulated, inspired, glowing, fiery, and passionate. Passion is defined by the Oxford English Dictionary as an intense desire or enthusiasm for something. A strong inclination towards a self-defining activity that people like or love, or at the very least find important, in which they invest time and energy on a regular basis. Our passion is where we feel the beating heart of our humanity, where we feel most deeply the things that matter to us, and where we live our lives out of them. At its simplest, passion is a collection of life experiences that give us a deep sense of fulfillment. And you can think about the times that you feel like you've been living your life passionately, or lived out something that was really important to you, and how fulfilling and how wonderful and how exciting and how dazzling that was. When one thinks of passion, it's often the thought of a driving force that literally takes over. Passion pushes us through the difficult times in our lives. It's the one thing that keeps us going regardless of the obstacles or the barriers that we might find in our way, and the thing that fuels and refills us when our cup is really depleted. When we are feeling depleted, to lean into that passion within us can assist us to fill that cup again. We all have the ability, whether we think we do or we don't, we all have the ability to really create whatever kind of life that we want. And the secret to living that life, the secret to living that dream, is to really become aware of and to really live from our passions and what we think, say, and do because of them. Just as we talked last week about standing on solid spiritual principles, we need to stand on a heart ablaze with the love and the joy of the universe. one without the other creates either a passionless life or a life of chaos. Think about it. We need solid spiritual principles to really support our expression in an organized and directed manner. And we need the fire of passion to really animate our lives. We need both. And we have both available to us. Just follow your passion. We've heard it before and we'll hear it again and again and again, I'm sure, from our friends or from our family or from guidance counselors or Disney movies or online motivational speakers. Follow your passion. Now, my guess is that we would probably all do that. We would all love to follow that advice if only we knew what our passion was. For some people, living their passion seems to come naturally. They just really throw themselves into the pursuits that they love without any kind of regard for what society expects of them, or from what people in their life tell them that they should be doing. You can't make a life doing that. Passion ignites a precious spark within us that generates action. James O'Day says, I believe that this super concentrated charge can enter into us and give us the energy to act in ways that we never thought possible. We become instruments of something larger than ourselves. Can you feel that? We become instruments of something larger than ourselves. But it isn't all that easy for all of us. Some of us are still asking, what is my passion? And I believe that this is because so many of us live our lives and make our choices from our head, and passion lives in our hearts. So we have to figure out a way to make that journey from our heads to our hearts and to open them up and open ourselves up to the passion that is there. Chances are we probably really already know what our passion is. But we might deny it because we've been told time and time again, like, you can't make money doing that, or you can't do that, or, you know, you don't have the talent, or you don't have the skill, or whatever. We just need to connect with it. We just need to connect with it in order to really be able to release the race consciousness ideas that are always swirling around each and every single one of us, and to be able to keep the shoulds, that keep us stuck at bay. I'm sure you're all sitting there thinking about a time you've been told you should or shouldn't do something, and that it stopped you from really being able to move forward on something you were really passionate about. Those shoulds keep us stuck, and they don't allow us to really follow what our hearts are saying to us. Marcy Smirnoff says, when you are clear about your passions, you're lit by a fire inside that shows you what to do in each moment. You are led to inspired action. You know what you want to do in life, but you may not know how it will happen. Inspiration will lead you to the how. Remember, we've said it before, you know, our job is not the how, our job is the what. And the how will fall into place. We will be guided to the how. If we follow our passions, we will be guided to the how. I think it comes like the oak tree inside the acorn, built into it already, right? Often what calls us to rise up and to do and to be even greater good than we have ever experienced before in our lives is a calling to right a wrong, or to have perhaps fill some space or some need that is noticeably absent from someone or something in the world. This recognition can create a fire in our belly. A fire in our belly that really pushes us, right? Compels us, calls us to a remedy, or to contribute in some way, or to be a part of the good, or to be a part of the solution. Rumi says, when the brain and the belly burn from fasting, every moment a new song arises out of the fire. Where there's that need, that fasting, that space of fasting, we may be called, because that is our individual, unique calling. And we may hear that calling, and we may feel that calling. And the question is, do we follow it? It's a choice. And when we choose it, this is the moment that we allow our lives to speak through us. We allow that divinity within us to speak through us, no longer just to us, but through us. And when our lives speak through us, they speak about purpose and about intention and about wholeness. And they create a space of allness which allows us to step into who we have come here to be, which allows us to step into who we have been called to be in the world. Letting our lives speak for us literally pours that individual divine light that is within us out into the world again and again and again. That's our light. That's the light that we came here to be. And really letting our lives speak for us pours that out into the world. There's no more separation or living a life that is divided between one thing and another. Speaking that which makes us extraordinary. Speaking that which makes us extraordinary allows the passion and the joy and the grace to pave a new way, not only for ourselves, but also in a way that beckons to invite others to go beyond their limitations, beyond their weaknesses, and beyond their mistakes. As author and minister Howard Thurman said, ask what makes you come alive and go and do that. What the world needs is people who have come alive. We may have an inner urge that stems really from deep within us, a feeling that something needs to be expressed through us. We may feel a pull to have our particular story, right? Our particular story, that journey that we've been through that we think is messy and chaotic, but it might be the right and perfect story to benefit someone else in a way that is healing. Our mess can be our ministry. We may recognize that our soul wants to contribute to do something good in the world. There may be an inner urge pushing us to really serve our community in a very unique and wonderful way. Rumi says, let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. What we need to know is that there is nothing too big or too small in God. Every call that we recognize as a divine call is important and significant to the world, otherwise we would not be receiving it. if we're receiving it, if we're hearing it, if we're feeling it, then it is important to the world. And the invitation is to listen to it, to follow it. The invitation is to discover what matters to us, what lights our fire and twirls our skirt. When we do something that we are passionate about, we lose track of time. And often it's something that we would be willing to do for free, just for the sake of doing it. Often, we don't know in the moment when we say yes how we are going to do it, but remember, that's not ours to know. That road will open up before us. Our yes will open up that road. The invitation is to find out what we truly care about and then have the courage to actually do it. The invitation is to do what we love and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the rest of it will fall into place. The bottom line is that Spirit is the constant, infinite self-givingness, blazing its essence into form eternally. Blazing its essence into form eternally. And as we take the time to really release our fears and our hurts and our beliefs and our superstitions that no longer work for us and that have haunted us and in all probability all of humanity for lifetimes, we will connect ever more deeply with Spirit. And when we do so, our hearts will be ablaze with love and light. At the age of 93, Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, said, "I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me." I love that. 93 is still talking about zeal and enthusiasm and sizzle and springing forth. I don't even know if I could spring forth anymore. But the invitation is to allow our hearts to sizzle with zeal and be ablaze with the life and the passion and the love that Spirit is experiencing and expressing through each and every single one of us, and to absolutely know that we will indeed stick the landing. And so it is. So I invite you to turn within, to allow ourselves to really solidify the message with a moment of prayer. Take a deep collective breath, and to allow our attention and intention to flow to the center of our being, that space and place that I call the divine. That light, that love, that creativity, that peace, that joy, that abundance, that wisdom, that freedom, all things good reside at the centermost, innermost aspect of each and every single one of us. We arrived on the planet with that core, with those qualities. We are their ambassador on the planet in our own unique and individualized way. We are spiritual beings having a human incarnation. We have within us everything that we need to really create a life that we love. Everything that we need to really be able to create a world that works for all. Everything we need within us to live out loud, spreading our love and our passion and our kindness everywhere we are. knowing that it encourages others to do the same, knowing that it gives people permission to live loud themselves, to be who they are, to bring their special gifts and talents to the world. So I claim ease and grace around each and every single one of us, living our lives with our hearts ablaze, allowing that love that is at the core of us to shine out brightly, to be in flames, to really burn fiercely, without reservation, without hesitation, not afraid of anything, knowing that there is nothing outside of ourselves that can harm us in any way. We are divine emanations of God, here to bring forth that loving energy. Take a deep breath. And know that it is possible to know that we are always being sourced and funded and fueled and guided and guarded. That self-givingness of the divine, always, everywhere, to everyone, at all times, eternally. This is the truth of who and what we are. And I'm so grateful to know this truth and to speak these words. So grateful for the power of prayer, knowing that these words are loosed into a law that only ever says yes, that my words are clothed in form even as they are spoken. And so I speak them and I release them, letting go and letting God be God. I invite each of us to anchor this prayer for ourselves, for each other, for our community, and for the world, simply by saying, and so it is. And so it is. Amen. Amen. So it is now time for our conscious giving. And this is the time each week when we offer financial support for this community so that we can continue to be a beacon of light and warmth and love in the greater Triangle area and beyond. I affirm that today's offering lifts this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and adds to the energy of sufficiency on the planet. There are 3 ways that you can give. They're here on your screen or on your screens at home. Visit our website at trianglecsl.org. You can text the word give to 919-629-9148, or you can actually send a check to PO Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina 27519. In this moment, I invite everyone to take your gift, place it against your heart, or simply place your hand on your heart with an affirmation for yourself or someone else, and repeat our conscious giving affirmation in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life.
I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life.
I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source.
I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Amen. Thank you all for your generosity, and now let's please be generous as we welcome the amazing Cindy Johnson back to her piano.
Just one thing, it would be, we're all okay. Not to worry, 'cause worry is wasteful and useless in times like these. I won't be made useless. I won't be idle with despair. Get myself around my faith, for light does the dark most fear. My hands, they are small and broken. Not yours, they are my own, but they're not yours, they are my own, but they're I am never broken. Poverty stole but it didn't steal your lifetime. It came to visit ever after. We'll find another spite, someone who must stand up for what's right. Where there's a man who has no voice, theirs shall ours go on singing. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own, but they're not yours, they are my own, and I am never broken. In the end, only kindness matters. In the end, only kindness matters. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own, and I'm not yours, they are my own, and I am never broken. We are never broken.
Thank you.
We have a Joni Mitchell song. It's very beautiful. Thank you. Okay. If anyone would like prayer, please go to our website at trianglecsl.org. On the homepage, there's a button in the upper right-hand corner. Click on that button and fill in the request form. We will get that prayer and send it out to all the ministers and practitioners, and we will hook y'all up. If anyone would like to dedicate a flower dedication to anyone for anything, please contact Heather Abbott at info@trianglecsl.org or Reverend Dusty at dustyrippelmeyer@yahoo.com. Now, in the comfort of your home or here, please stand for our December affirmation. This is a call and response. Please repeat it with meaning. Since spirit is all there is, my work is to increase my understanding of and alignment with that infinite presence.
Since spirit is all there is, my work is to increase my understanding of and alignment with that infinite presence.
As I do so, I connect ever more deeply with spirit and open myself to the flow of its fire.
As I do so, I connect ever more deeply with spirit and open myself to the flow of its fire.
As I allow the fire of spirit to move me, I rise to new levels of joy and love.
As I allow the fire of spirit to move me, I rise to new levels of joy and love.
As I recognize the ever-present light within me and let it shine, my own light becomes brighter.
As I recognize the ever-present light within me and let it shine, my own light becomes brighter.
As my own light becomes brighter, I light up the lives of others just by being who I am.
As my own light becomes brighter, I light up the lives of others just by being who I am.
As I complete this year of a grand rising, I look forward to what's next and proudly proclaim yes to life.
As I complete this year of a grand rising, I look forward to what's next and loudly proclaim yes to life.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And now you may sit if you want to, or stay standing if you prefer. I'd invite you to close your outer eyes as I do a benediction. I invite everyone to go forward today and sizzle. And so it is.
Sizzle. Sizzle, everybody. Thank you all so very much for being here, for inviting us into your homes. Thank you to all of the volunteers that were here today to assist this service, the facilitation of it. Remember to mark your calendars for January. Bring a friend, share the joy, and be thinking about who you want to invite to come along with you on any of those Sundays. And mark all the holidays. The holidays around here are absolutely phenomenal, and I'm really looking forward to them, even more so this year. Thank you all so very much. Have a great week. I love you all.
how does he handle that? How does he handle the eye drops? Here's another one. It was in this box.
If you're ready to make a choice of house, I'm going to take that up to the fire station.